So, Stu, let me give you this assignment, okay?
Yes.
And see what you think about it. Here's the situation. I'm just reading right off of the assignment. You're a member of a civil defense team appointed by the president to make a decision on fallout occupancy. A war has been declared, and it appears the only occupants of a fallout shelter in Death Valley have a good chance of survival.
It's a weird place for the survival apocalypse to play out.
So that leads you to believe also that nobody's going to live.
Right.
Okay, so
end of the world.
End of the world.
Situation.
Okay. End of humans
and
the species.
Mm-hmm.
The Death Valley Civil Defense Director has wired Washington that at present, 10 people are occupying the shelter. A computer has calculated the shelter can guarantee survival for only 6 people. Your committee has to decide which 4 are to be excluded from the group. 4 must go so 6 may live to rebuild society. Here are the rules. Everyone must agree with the choice. No voting is allowed. And the final decision must be acceptable to everyone.
Okay. This is going to be a tough one.
That's going to be a tough one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do this in school?
I don't remember doing this thing, but I mean, you have those brain teaser type of questions that occasionally you'd go through.
And so we would go, we did this, I think, in our rights and responsibility classes. We talked about, in my day, it was still worried about nuclear war and everything else. And so we would do things like this, but it was all skills based. Okay. You got a doctor, you've got a plumber, you've got somebody with no skills, but they're really, really smart. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you have to pick. All right. Here are the 10 people. A 36-year-old female physician who is known to be a confirmed racist. Now, I don't know about you, but I find these 36-year-old female physicians all the time that are confirmed racist.
It's the most racist part of our population.
It really is.
36-year-old female physicians.
Here in Texas, they're all racist. Mm-hmm. So, and it's hard to hear the diagnosis through the hoods, but,
They have eye holes for a reason. They need mouth holes.
They do. They
don't have mouth holes.
Right, no. A 36-year-old female physician who's known to be a confirmed racist. Number 2, a Hispanic Marine drill instructor.
Hispanic.
See where this is going?
Okay. And no ages on that?
No. Okay. Just Hispanic is all that matters. A biological researcher who is a black militant. An Asian biochemist.
Asian biochemist.
An Olympic athlete. A Hollywood starlet. A third-year medical student who refuses to reproduce. A 16-year-old pregnant high school dropout of questionable IQ.
A pregnant high school dropout?
Yes, 16, with questionable IQ. 30-year-old Catholic priest. A 32-year-old carpenter and all-around fix-it man who served 7 years for pushing narcotics, who has been out of jail for 7 months. Now, in my world, I either say, we party at the bomb site, forget the shelter, we're just going to hang out. Or I close the door behind me, you know what I mean?
And just you by yourself.
Yeah. Maybe the Hollywood star.
Yeah, you got to bring the Hollywood star in. I think that's definite.
It's
that's
Ginger.
The first one. I was like, she's coming in.
Yeah, so you got to include her. If if you learn from that documentary Gilligan's Island, you know that the Hollywood starlet. Where's the millionaire and his wife? Anyway, so now, first question is, do you have a problem with this? Is this more indoctrination?
I guess a lot of it depends on what the context is on how it's being presented. Is it you're saying, I assume with this question, you're saying that this comes from a school and is going to children to try to teach them about racism or something?
Well, have you ever, why is it an Asian biochemist? I guess the only reason why is because you have a confirmed racist as the doctor.
Right. I can see that being a factor because you see, you don't want the black nationalist and the white supremacist in the same 6-person closet.
Do you notice that closet? Why would you say that? Is there a homosexual on here? Are you reading into the Catholic priest something that's not there?
Not at all, Mr. Hater.
Okay, so here's the thing. notice that there are no white people here. So the 36-year-old female physician who's known to be a confirmed racist might be black, and so she'd get along with the black militant. She may be racist against white people.
That's a good point, and I assumed right away that it was a white person.
Exactly, which is an interesting thing. Everybody's race is mentioned except white.
That's fascinating.
Right.
Because you just, I assumed with the, this is some left-wing thing. And
so isn't that interesting? Because I did the first time, too, when I read it. And I think the parents did. Look at this, female physician known to be confirmed racist. Everyone just assumes it's white. Now, that's part of indoctrination, is it not? Unless the kids are smart enough to go, wait a minute. Who is the confirmed racist? What race is she? And is she racist against all races other than hers? Or is she like, I hate Native Americans? Well, there's no Native Americans in the group.
So maybe she'd be a delight.
Right. So she could be a delight.
So, yeah, because it's interesting because you mentioned the black nationalist, black militant, I believe is the word. And you could say, right there, black militant is a racist. I don't know if anyone knows this. Yeah. If you happen to be a black nationalist, you are also a racist.
Correct.
And
so notice it's a black militant and not a black racist.
Right. That's true. That's a good point.
Right.
Okay. So, and then you have an athlete.
You have an Olympic athlete. Doesn't say what race.
Right. Olympic athlete.
So don't just assume that it is white.
Oh, I didn't. I did not.
No, I know, but why is there black, Hispanic, black and Hispanic, and they don't mention the race of anyone else?
Asian,
yeah, black, Hispanic, and Asian. First of all, the Asian gets in. An Asian biochemist, yes.
Yeah, that doesn't.
You're smarter than all of us.
I mean, the only thing
that's so racist. Yeah, well,
sometimes racism works in your favor. Some stereotypes, I would say, some of the stereotypes that have been tossed around against certain races, they tend to enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, and some stereotypes, sometimes they have actual. It's like I've always said, don't hate people because of their race. That's so stupid. Get to know a person. Hate them for real reasons.
Hate them for the content of their character, not the color of the skin.
Who cares? I looked into their character. They're worthy of the hatred. Okay, anyway.
I think I'm thinking about this again, though. Assuming, I guess, you're in this room. You're trying to plan the future of society?
Correct.
Not you being in the room. Because at first I thought, Hollywood starlet, you want in the room. But think of how annoying that would get after like 10 minutes.
Oh, no. If she's the only one left, there are 6 people left and she's one of them, bye-bye.
Right. So there's no reason to bring a Hollywood starlet in there.
Correct.
I mean, I think the Asian biochemist is the king of this particular exercise. Right. 100% in.
And the Olympic athlete.
What do you need the Olympic athlete for?
If you are having to repopulate the earth, you want a genetic specimen. Plus, in my case, I need somebody to carry me while everybody's walking long, long ways out of Death Valley.
That's okay. I can see that.
Right.
Yes. All right.
I mean, I'm saying about the repopulation, but it's really about, hey, dude, put me on your back and just carry me. Mm-hmm. You need the exercise.
Right.
You can't let yourself go. Don't do it.
I don't know that they believe you, but let me throw another one out there that I think is maybe controversial here, but I think this is a no-brainer, which is the pregnant high school dropout. And the thing is, you're trying to rebuild the species. You need a head start. She's already pregnant. So I think she's in.
Yeah, but if you're in that...
Plus, you're getting 2 for 1.
Yeah, but if you're... True.
Right?
True, yeah.
Do we have to... Now, look, I'm normally... I'm a personhood guy, but do we have to count that as 2 people?
Okay, so now... So, no. So listen to this.
Then she's definitely
Listen to this. But the baby's crying in a small, cramped space after a while.
Yeah, but you're going to have to do this eventually. You're going to have to repopulate
but you don't have to be in that small, cramped space. You're going to be out after a while. 6 months at least you're in that room waiting for things to settle down.
Oh, so if you're only going to be in there for 6 months, then you can rethink that. But if this is a long-term... Like you could be 10 years. You got to get started with the repopulation.
Well, luckily I should be there because I've read the government book on it's called On Thermonuclear War.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I know what to do. All you have to do to be safe after the whole thing is blown up is just scrape off the first 6 inches of all topsoil. I don't know what you do with it, but you just scrape that off and hope there's no wind. And you're fine. Earth will be fine.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. So isn't it interesting that an Olympic athlete is there? And what did I say? You put the Olympic athlete there because you want a good specimen, right? You want to repopulate. That's the opposite reason for the 16-year-old pregnant high school dropout with questionable IQ. This is eugenics. You don't want the questionable IQ in the gene pool. This is making you think like a eugenics professor. And the question is, and I doubt any of this is being discussed, the question is that a good thing?
No. Is eugenics a good thing? No. I'm going to go out on a limb on that one.
Then if you would say no, then you shouldn't, the Olympic athlete and the questionable IQ, those aren't questions.
Well, and as I said, that was the questionable IQ lady was my first choice. Or a second choice. The Asian biochemist is, I don't even know why that's on there. It's obvious. He's in 100%.
Is there anybody that's saying no to the Asian biochemist?
I think they walk into the room, the Asian biochemist just keeps walking through the next door. Just goes right into he doesn't
I'm
even
not
ask.
involved in this. Yeah. I'm not involved in this. I'm just going to set up my cot right now. Guess who gets first choice of rooms?
He's 100% in.
He.
Or she. It could be she.
Could be she.
I mean, that's even better.
Right.
There you go. The bottom line is, I don't care. He, she. What pronouns do you have? Get on in there, Asian biochemist.